I just wanted to show you, I put the head, I sandblasted it and put the head down with the part I'm actually going to mill down here. And what I did is I flattened out all of these bolt locations, so these are all parallel to what I want to mill off, because that's out of flat a little bit, but these were way out. I mean, there was a difference of 20 thousandths or so on the depth of all of these, where the bolts go, the bosses, where the top of the bolts go. So what I did is I made that parallel. So now I'm going to flip that around on some parallels and put it on here, and then take and mill the head down, so get it flat. So I got this set up upside down now with the blocks under here. I had to shim this up here, so I have to keep that level, so when I clamp that down it doesn't warp it, and then when I unclamp it, it re-warps it again. So I gotta check it again on the surface plate and get this all milled, but just thought I'd show you here. It's not a real rigid setup. I got a bolt here going down through the, you can see this one here, that's where the spark plug comes through into the combustion chamber there. So I got a bolt coming up through that, a T-nut into the bed here, and a bolt through this one here. So this is being held on by these two, and then I've got these 1, 2, 3 blocks, they're called, underneath all of the little nubs I milled here, these bosses where the bolts come through from the other side and when it's on the engine. So what I'm trying to do now is just flatten this out. Now I've taken a cut of 5 thousandths. I don't dare take more than 5 thou at a pass, and it'll probably take a couple more passes to clean it, because it looked like it was about 12, 15 thou low in the middle. So I'm gonna take another 5 thou pass here, and I just thought I'd film it for you so you could see it in progress, because this is all part of the build there. So we're gonna show it to you. So this will be taking another 5 thousandths. Let's see, let me get a shot of this. So as you can see, it didn't clean up here, so I still got to take some more, but it you know, did all of the, you can kind of see it if I back this out here. You can see the gray area there, the bead blasted area in the center here, where it hasn't cleaned up there yet, but it has everywhere else. So I'm going to take another 5 thousandths and see if it cleans up then, and we'll go from there. May have to take a couple more cuts, but I just wanted to show you that. And when I get ready to check the flatness, I'll come back on. So I'm checking the flatness of this head, and I'm getting somewhere around about 1.5 and that's definitely good enough. It's, you know, if you're within 3 or 4 thousandths, it should clamp that up fine with that copper head gasket. So I think we're going to be good on this head. But this is the way you know, check it. You got it held up by 3 points. I got 2 in the front here and 1 in the back here, and that's supporting that up under there. And then I just run an indicator. This is a 1/10,000th indicator, so start over here, and I'll set this on 0. You see that's pointing on 0 right there. And if I come over to the center of this and check this, see that's about -7/8. So those are 10,000ths increments each line. Each number is 1 thou, whole number. And this one here is minus about 4 10,000ths, because it's on the left side of the 0. And we'll come over to this side and we'll check this one. And that's +1. And that's back to 0 there. And that's +2 10,000ths. So about 1.5 thou, 1.7 out of flat, which isn't too bad. That's a lot better than it was, because it was out 15 when I started. So that worked out pretty good. I can tell by feeling it. You just get that little tiny bit of tick there. So if I put an indicator on something here, I might be able to see that, see what it is. I put an indicator on this, and this is just for reference while I try to push on that. Set that at 0. So that moves about 0.5 of an inch when I push. Let's see if I can get aimed in here so you can see that. So what I've got is I got that indicator point just on a reference surface on here, and I will take and try to do this so you can see it. See that indicator needle move? That's about 0.5 thousandths I can get pushing from one diagonal corner to another. So that's try that again. We'll set that on 0 and try to move diagonal corner here, and nothing moves, so that's pretty good. And we'll put it in the middle. See, I moved about 0.5 thou pushing there, so that it's not very out of flat, I can tell you that. And then we'll go down here for the heck of it. It should show. That's not moving at all. So that's pretty good. And this one here. About 0.5 thou. Yep. And just show you the surface here. There's the surface of it there. It's all milled off. I think we're going to use her just like that there. There's a little bit of rot there, but I don't think that's going to bother anything. That's the where it goes down into the block. So I think we're going to call it good right there, and use that. I've got a high compression aluminum head in there, but I don't know if there's enough clearance for the piston, so I just wanted to get this ready. If I can use that head I've got, I probably will use it, but if not, I'll use this one. And we'll go from there. Next thing to do will be to paint the block up. Alright. So I got the engine all painted here, and I'm ready to put it on the engine stand. I just thought I'd show you what's going on here. So I got my Model T, the one I used and that I call my driver there, the 24 Roadster, that is in the basement now with me for the winter. And so, because it's getting too cold to drive that outside, so that's going to be in for the winter. There's only a couple things I'm going to do to it. I'm going to put a starter button on the dash instead of the one on my foot, because I keep hitting it with my foot. So I'm going to change that. And so that's probably the only thing that I can think of that I'm going to do to it. But other than that, I got to clean it and stuff. But she's in for the winter. So the other one's out in the garage, and I got that parked, the 25 coupe, and I got that parked lengthwise in the back of the garage. And so we won't be riding much anymore this year at all, really. Unless it gets real warm during the middle of the winter or something, we decide to take it out for one ride or something like that. But so back on this, I've got the engine all painted. You can kind of see it here. I put these front covers on just because I wanted to get them painted in to cover up what was underneath them. So I got to take them off. I put this head on, so when I milled down there, and I put it on and painted that. That also kept the paint out of the cylinders and all that. And I put the valve cover on there and painted that too, because that had to get painted. So because we're going with a bright red theme for this Speedster, so I wanted to paint the engine and the parts that go on it, like the generator and the starter and stuff. I think I'm going to do them in gloss black, but the main engine and the transmission, the hogshead, and the oil pan that goes under the engine here, that's going to all be painted bright red. So that's that. So I just figured I'd show you what this is going to look like after I take that head off here. We'll take a look at this. And there we have that, and here's the head. There's that there. And let's see, take these front covers off here. Extension for the bottom one. Front piece to the motor there. See, I got a Glipdol. I got to paint it with Glipdol on the inside. Same with this. It's all Glipdol as it is in the engine. I like putting the Glipdol on it. It's a sealer. Keeps the oil run off it. I know Henry Ford didn't use it, but I'm using it. And I'm going to take this cage off here. we have it. So now I gotta put that, oh yeah, I'm gonna take these pins out here too. So the cam bushings, I just put them in there so that the threads on those holes wouldn't get gummed up with paint. Okay. I thought I was recording. I guess I wasn't. Put this on this engine stand. I got this mounted on the engine. Now I gotta pick this up, put this on that engine stand. Upside down here. Maybe put the crankshaft in it. Wiping that in. There. So I'm going to mix up some of this time saver. This is the yellow time saver for Babbitt, and I think it's for bronze and aluminum too, soft metals. And so what you do is you just take some of the powder, you put it into a little container. I get this little steel container here, and a little bit in there. There's no like real, you don't measure anything, you just, it's all by eye. And you do that, and squirt a little 10W30 oil in here. And you mix this up with the oil. Wind up with this yellow paste. Okay, so now I'm going to put that time saver slurry that I made in these bearings, and I've cleaned all of the bearings out with brake cleaner there, and also the journals on the crank and the Babbitt in the caps. So I'm going to paint some of this in here. That. Now I'll take the shims and put them on. that on the right way here. Number 2. Now we'll get the bolts. No, I can't even move it like that, so I'm gonna get the bar out. I got this bar that I put on the end of the crankshaft to be able to lap this in with. There. Oh boy. You can hear it cutting that babbitt. Take it up a little more. Oh. Okay, I'm going to loosen them and take the main caps off and see what it looks like. Sometimes it'll dry out there, especially when you're cutting this much. So let's see what we got here, and I'll probably clean it off and do it again with some fresh. Yeah, it should get pretty dry. See that there? So I'm going to clean this all off. And I'm going to take the other two off too. And clean that off. And you can see how dull. So that's been cutting that. That's good. So she's fitting her to her. So that's number 2. out. Foot out of there. Over here. So I can clean it off. Okay, I'm gonna clean them journals on the crank. I'll be back. So before I put that crankshaft in the motor there, I've got it all lapped in, and it's ready to go in, and I have the caps torqued on. So the next thing I got to do is I got to install this. This is the gear that goes on the front. You can see the timing mark right here. I got to line up with the timing gear on the camshaft, and so this is going to go on the end of this, and this has got like I measured it, it's about a 2/1000 press fit here. So I got to press that on. You can't hammer this because you'll bend the crankshaft. So, you know, you got to do this carefully. So I got this on some wood right now. I'm going to push this key into it, tap it in with a hammer. And we'll tap that in there. So that's in, and then I'm going to put a little bit of grease on that in here, because that's a tight fit. The grease around this. Now, put that on the press here, the arbor press. And I'm going to support that right here on that. As far as I can slide on, because it's the journal area here. So that's good enough. That's over the center. So, and what I did is I found this socket. So this will go over most of the way. It won't quite go over. So I'm going to start pressing this down with this, and then I'm just going to use some nuts to push this up. I'll show you. Push this up so that I get that all the way down there. So I will put this on here. So this is slip fit on this first part of the shaft. Down here, there. It's locked into the keyway. I'll set this on top of here, and put that right there. Okay, I think I'm at the bottom of the throw of that with the shaft's hitting. We'll take this off here and I'll place these around here, and about 3 equally spots here. That's just to jack this up a little bit so that I can finish pushing this on here. So she's all lined up and going down good. So I just want to keep it that way. And we got her in there. I guess I'll take it from underneath here. There. There it is. These bearings, what I'm doing is, so this is going to be basically installing this crankshaft. I'm probably not going to take it out again. Like I said, it's all lapped in. And so what I'm doing is, I normally, if I'm going to run this, if I was going to definitely run this here in another couple of months, I'd just put some oil on there. But I've been using this stuff called Clevite. I don't know. It's an assembly thing, and if you read on assembly lube, and it's a bearing guard is specifically formulated with extreme pressure rating to provide proper lubrication for internal engine components during assembly and the first crucial moments of operation after engine startup. Now, do you need to use this? I don't know. Again, I'm not an expert engine rebuilder, but I know lubrication's real important, and this is gonna, if I just put oil on that, I don't know if it'll, because it's gonna be sitting here for a year and a half or so, probably before it's even started. So, I'm gonna put this stuff on and, hope for the best. I think it'll be fine, but. And shim's all back in here. There. Perfect. Checked the end play with an indicator yesterday, and it's 4 thousandths on the thrust, so that's fine, So, I think pretty well good to go on the crankshaft. I just got to fit the rods to the journals here on each of the cylinders and lap them each in, and then I can, there it is, all assembled, and we will go on to the next step. All right, that went good.